Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup, including news, reviews, key trials, and this week a preview of the weekend action at Sha Tin on Saturday. Coming up on the show today, I ride shotgun down to Happy Valley with Neil Callan, take on the land speed records as well. And also, well, some stars are back in action. Jeune got his first sit on a Pakistan star back at the trials, and that horse in front of him, Fiore, as well. Very pleased to be joining you once more. I'm Jeune, joined here in the studio by Graham Cunningham as well. And Graham, to start talking about something that didn't happen as opposed to something that did. Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here as always, Andrew. It's been a very significant, turbulent week in Hong Kong racing.
Yeah, Happy Valley on Wednesday night, unfortunately, was cancelled. The meeting called off at just after 1 o'clock, meeting scheduled to start at 7:15 that night due to safety concerns.
Yeah, it's a very complex situation. We live in an era of instant, strident opinions, but as we know, the real world, when that intervenes, is much more complex and nuanced. There was a lot on the line here, and not to mention over $1 billion in potential betting turnover. The Jockey Club made the call. Was it the right one? It's easy to slate it, but if you do slate that decision, you either have high-level inside information about what the police and the security team were saying to the Jockey Club, or you're having a guess, and it's best not to guess in these circumstances.
Yeah, this situation has been getting a lot of publicity via news and current affairs sort of shows. I'm sure everyone watching will be aware of the situation. This is the official club statement, though. It is our responsibility to ensure that racehorses, racegoers, jockeys and employees are safe at all times. The club has been monitoring the situation in Hong Kong closely. It has conducted a thorough risk assessment of the race meeting, concluded that it should be cancelled in order to preserve the security and safety of people and horses. This has been a very difficult and most unfortunate decision to make, but public safety is paramount importance to the club. And at the end of the day, Graham, that is it, is that the safety, it couldn't be guaranteed, the decision was made, we move on.
The nutshell is public safety is paramount. Next questions, is that the end of something or the beginning of something? We hope it's the former. Everyone in the racing industry will hope for better things to come.
All right, as far as that meeting being rescheduled, we'll stand by for more news as far as that is concerned. But no Happy Valley on Wednesday night this week. There was last week, though, as I hitchhiked my way down, riding shotgun with Neil Callan. All right, Neil, Happy Valley, here we come. How long is this going to take?
Normally 15, 20 minutes, but might get there a little bit quicker tonight. Okay, just open it. You ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
How are Trishnickers?
They're good.
A nice break?
Lovely break, yeah. Sardinia is beautiful. Nice food, beautiful beaches. Just the lifestyle is quite relaxed, which is what we're not used to here in Hong Kong. It's more like flat out.
You've ridden in Italy as well, haven't you?
I have, yes. I had quite a lot of success in Italy. I used to ride a lot for Michael Jarvis, and he was one of the last old school. He was very, very loyal, very, straightforward. If there was a problem, he'd tell you. And he had a good horse there for a good owner called Gary Tanaka called Pressing.
Oh, yeah.
He bought him from Italy. And he campaigned him in England, but he used to take him back in the summer, back to Italy, Germany, and all those countries. And I think I won like 3 Group 1s on him and probably about 10 Group 2s on him. So he's a bit like a European cash machine. Yeah. So but he was very good. Like, he had a very good turn of foot for a miler.
What's that?
Emails. Oh, it was working.
Yeah. Umberto gave me a lift home for the races one time. He's a good driver, but he drives fast.
He does.
And I put that down to him just because I've never been in a car with a jockey who doesn't drive fast. You're always it's like you're looking for a position, trying to hold someone out. Drove in Italy this summer to a man on the freeways. They all drive like Mario Andretti. We were in the slow lane doing, the speed limit's 110. Might have been a little bit over every now and again. Cars passing us like we're standing still. And bumper to bumper as well, 150, 160. There's no road rage at all. They just all do it absolutely flat out. Exactly like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
But this is nothing yet. We'll show you later. My wife has put me on an aloe vera diet. Well, she hasn't put me on it. She's encouraged me to do it. But,
She's put you on it, yeah.
so anyway, I thought I'd give it a try. It's more of a cleanse than it is actually losing weight diet. But I felt like my weight's dropped quite significantly. So at the moment I'm 121, so that's pretty good for me. You know, like today we do 10 mile on the bike, have a little rest in the afternoon, have a sleep, and then do like 40 minutes in the bath. And the heat of the bath would be 40 degrees. So it's like, you know, it's like throwing a lobster into the pot. It's going to be pretty hot, but you know, we're pretty fit, we're pretty athletic. It's all about stripping the fluid off. Well, you know this more than me, Andrew, because you're a bit older than me, but you tend to appreciate things a bit more. You tend to mellow out a bit more. Like, I'm very competitive, I'm very hungry, and I'm very, as a rider, I'm quite an aggressive rider. You know, I like to keep it simple, but I'm quite strong and aggressive. Whereas there's what a lot of others like to be patient, sit at the back, blah, blah, blah. And I think hence why that also suits me riding in Hong Kong, because you have to be a certain amount of aggressiveness and competitiveness to be able to handle everything that comes to you.
Blazing Speed took the lead with 150 to go. He's roaring away with the QE2 Cup, and it's a big win for Blazing Speed. Neil Callan and Tony Cruz.
Is that where the nickname comes from, do you think, Ironman? How did that start?
I don't know. Well, actually,
It's not a bad nickname to have.
No, it's cool. I thought it was quite cool when they started calling me. I was like, that sounds good. I'll keep that. I had a fall one day where I was leading on a horse, and one crossed me about the 1,200 metres, and anyway, as he crossed me, I won't say who, but anyways, he crossed me, I clipped his heels, and my horse went down. He hit the ground quite hard. We were trapping quite fast. And I think my first thing was when I hit the ground, it's weird. It's a weird sensation, because unless you are knocked out or you've broken anything, you tend to roll out, make sure you feel everything's okay. And then I rolled out through the uprights of the railings, and I nearly rolled into the drain on the inside of the track. And then once I knew the horse was fine and was in the capable hands of the vets, I jumped straight into the nearest car, and I was like, right, I'm in the next race. Got into the jockey's room, ran straight through the scales, and there was a lot of trainers and a lot of press and that were there. And they're all giving me a handshake and applause. I was like, what? And someone shouted out, Iron Man. And I just laughed. And ever since that, I think the Chinese press have just locked on. And
Final question.
I went steady for you. I know you were a little bit of a phobia about speed, so I slowed down for you.
Who do we get to do this next?
Oh, I don't know. Don't get Zach. He talked too much about himself.
Chris So's got nice cars, hasn't he?
Don't get Blake Shin. He'll talk too much. Matt Chadwick, he might talk too much. I reckon, who did you reckon?
Chris So's got nice cars, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he could take you in his Lambo, but Casper would be the best. Casper's got the best car. He's got the Lamborghini Huracan. Not sure you'll hear much, because the noise is pretty loud. Actually, a good call would be to get all the girls, the jockeys' wives.
Need a minibus.
Oh, but bring them all in a bus and have a girls' trip in Happy Valley. I'm sure you'll like that.
Perfect. That has had actually a little hit of a speed bump, because I parked in Nicole Purton's car space that day, so I'm trying to work my way back into her good books. But great fun with Neil. I missed a couple of times, actually reaching for the handrail halfway down the trip. He did give it a bit of a push.
Yeah, I hope he accelerates just as well on Sunday when he's playing in a big charity jockeys football game. But he's dead consistent, Neil. I can always rely. If his team Liverpool win, I get a message very quickly. And if my team Man City lose, is even quicker. So I hope he's in good form on Sunday. Yeah,
it's for Neil as well, from a European perspective, that's his only commute of the week, because he walks to Sha Tin. It's 25, 30 minutes, that's it.
He made a big decision to swap quantity for quality when he came to Hong Kong, and he's doing it a little tough at the moment. He's had 4 seconds this season, but hopefully he's got a really good chance when a horse called Gunner comes back to 1,000 metres in race 2 at Sha Tin on Saturday.
And what do you think about Neil's selection of the week? Casper fans top of the hit list, do you think, for this trip in the Lamborghini next?
Yes, I think
Chris. I get Chris and Casper in together.
Yeah, master and apprentice. Chris was Casper's long-time assistant, both big car fans, and they would bounce off each other very well, only in a metaphoric sense, I hope.
Yeah, and well, there was lots of great content through that. I don't want to make too many promises that I can't keep, but we'll try and get some more of that out, because Neil was great for the whole half an hour on the way down to Happy Valley. But we'll leave it there, because there's plenty more still to come after the break. The trial file with Pakistan star and Blake Jeune jumping on board for the first time. We're looking ahead also to Saturday's action. It's the Pok Oi Centenary Cup and Harmony Victory. Can he start, as he finished last year, as a winner? Preview of the Pok Oi Centenary Cup still to come, but we're back at the trials this week with a few stars returning. Derby winner Fiore and the biggest star of all, possibly, Pakistan star.
Pakistan star deep, but he's got cover. Furore between runners, Big Bang Bong, Little Wise Man, Winner's Way, Insatiable. And last is Racing Luck as they're on the swing. 400 left to go. Turning in first is Gallison. He leads the way on Kaying Star, White Cuckoo deeper. Followed there by Citron Spirit, Pakistan star moving into it very nicely down the outside for Shin, and he's gone to them quickly. Warlord, Furore, Winner's Way, and Little Wise Man with Racing Luck at the head of the rest. White Cuckoo now been collared by Pakistan star and Blake Jeune, and again he's gone to the line very well. First trial for the season, and he's done it stylishly.
Yeah, but that was sort of his usual trial. You know, he's particularly effective here in the mornings, but Blake's comments were very positive. He said he showed good speed, came out, accelerated well, went through his gears, so very happy with this morning's trial.
We haven't seen him in public anyway for a few months physically. How is he?
Yeah, he's carrying a little bit of weight. He'll have time for another trial before he steps out, so he should be fine by race day.
When he's going to be race day for him, what are the sort of plans you've got for him for this season, Paul?
Well, a little bit up in the air and a little bit radical. I think I'll kick him off on the 20th of October in the Group 2 1200 metres and just see how the trip suits him. You know, he trials like a 1200 metre horse, and whether he can take that into race day, we'll find out.
John, why Cuckoo hasn't raced since the QE2. Were you happy with his trial?
Yeah, look fine. The horse is trained up nicely, and that was his second trial this morning. It looked like a sound trial, so I think everything's on track for him to return to racing.
When will we see him return to racing, John?
He'll probably run on the 1st of October in the 1400.
And nothing I like more, John. He's been on the comeback trail too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had 3 trials, and every one of those trials have been sound. He's done well, so he'll probably run in the same race.
And that race, of course, is the Celebration Cup, 1400 metres, a race that Beauty Generation has won for the last 2 years, Graham. So under handicap conditions, they got their work cut out, but nothing I like more. On his day, he was a very good horse, Classic Mile. That was his last win, in actual fact, the Classic Mile.
Yeah, this is a tantalising prospect for the 1st of October. Good news for those horses is they're likely to get around £20 or thereabouts from Beauty Generation. The bad news, Andrew, the handicapper thinks they should be getting 30.
Yeah, White Cuckoo as well. He'll be looking for further in due course, but it'd be interesting to see how he gets on first up too.
Yeah, it's a really good starting point. There aren't many horses in Hong Kong who have a rating high enough to get into the handicap against Beauty Generation. But as regards the Master Miler, I think he was rated 106 when he won this race 2 years ago. I think he was 126 12 months ago. Now he's rated 137 after a flawless 8-win season. It could be a very, very interesting handicap then.
It certainly will be. If you're ever going to beat him, this would be it first up over this trip in handicap company. Back to Pakistan star, though. He does trial very well, but Paul O'Sullivan doing something different, why not?
A little bit radical, as Paul sums him up. He is a morning star, Pakistan star. Can he translate it to the afternoons over 1200? 0 from 9 for 5 different jockeys last season, but he trials like a beast. He makes pretty smart horses look fairly ordinary on the all-weather trial surface. 1200 metres on turf, he's still got that high rating, 122, I think, so he'll only be getting £4 or £5 maximum from the likes of Beat the Clock, Mr. Stunning, Rattan, Little Giant, maybe the likes of Hot King Prawn, etc. It's well worth a try, and the fire is in there somewhere. We saw when he swaggered into the lead in a red-hot, superbly fast-run QE2 Cup that it's there. all the old ability is there. So I applaud Paul O'Sullivan for trying something very different, seeing if the frenetic pace of a 1200 race might bring out the very best in Pakistan Star.
Because he has won 1200, but that was in a Griffin race. And he's got form over 14 as well, but of course his 2 Group 1 wins have been over much further.
It's a strange thing with this horse. You know at some point he's going to deliver it again, and all is forgiven, and he will be the star of Hong Kong racing. Perhaps briefly, perhaps for a long time. Either way, he adds a great deal to racing in this territory.
He certainly does. That is Pakistan Star at the trials this week. This week, though, we're at Sha Tin on Saturday. That's what we're looking at in the preview. All right, the Pokoi Centenary Cup is our feature race into this weekend. 1,600 metres strip. Harmony Victory, big winner on the final day last season, taking out the Sha Tin Mile Trophy. Classic Beauty returns, Matthew Chadwick. You can see the weights, they drop away very quickly here. Gorgeous King Opie had a good season last year. Harris Teton takes over because Grant rides Harmony Victory. Noble Seed, Keith Young for Francis Lloyd. Mongolian Kings had a run this season, ran well, finishing 4th. And Star Performance, well, it was a star performance. 1 from 1 last year, scoring at very big odds. Right, set this race up for us then, Graham. We've seen a couple of these horses with a start under their belt, but a lot coming in fresh.
I think a few interesting points. First of all, interesting champion jockey Zach Purton hasn't managed to source a ride. That's unusual. Second point, I think more than half the field, at least 5, possibly 6 of 9, are confirmed get-back hold-up horses who made it a strong gallop. And the third point to make is they may not get an end-to-end gallop here.
Well, this is one of those horses, and this race worked out perfectly for him. He seems to be pace-dependent. You set it up with a strong gallop, Harmony Victory. He's a big closer.
He is. He is capable of producing very impressive closing splits when the pace is on. In this race, which was a very good quality handicap, I think we have Mission Tycoon in there, Dr. Jeff, etc., etc., and he produces a 21.86 turn of foot to seal this race. So he's a high-quality horse, but I think there's a fair amount of evidence, Andrew, not just this race, to suggest that he needs a true gallop to show his best. He's giving £10 plus all round. That's a slight concern. The bigger concern, the potential lack of a strong gallop.
All right, so that's maybe one negative against Harmony Victory here first up. Star Performance is the next horse we have a look at. Big watch on race stakes. I think he might be racing in different colours to this. They've had a change through the off-season. This is his first up effort last season, his only effort to date here in Hong Kong, and he's surprised at about 66 to 1.
Yeah, with Dylan Moe on board. Not just different silks, new headgear. An application has been made for him to wear a hood. It's been granted. Joe Moreira is in the irons. Timing is key again with this horse. They went very, very fast indeed on this occasion. 11-second furlongs early on. He relished it, came home really powerfully in a bunch finish. His recent trial was nothing flash. Early days to be pigeonholing this horse, but the evidence from that performance suggests that he might be another who needs the pace on, and he may not get it.
Gets in with a very light weight, though. Classic Beauties, the next one we put the circle around and focus in on, and his form, again, from the back end of last season.
He was campaigned pretty much as a middle-distance horse last season, Andrew, and that's exactly what he looked. So the question is, can he combat a rise in the weights and a drop down in distance? Zach Purton was on board on this day. I think he had him very well positioned from the start. He shows plenty of ability, plenty of heart to hold on in a scrambling finish, but that was 2,000 metres. He's back to 1,600 metres this weekend. In short, what I'm trying to say is he needs to be better than ever at a trip that may not be ideal for him. I'm lukewarm.
Yeah, he may well go first up, I suppose, but he looked like he wanted the 2,000 metres there. This horse, this is a remarkable performance from last season. Easy to spot, Noble Steed, big white face. Out the back, looked to be in a little bit of trouble maybe with looking for room and where to go, but when he found it, whoosh.
Yeah, the highlights reel of dashing rides from Zach Purton from last season is a long one, but this is pretty close to the top. It's like he's playing Group 1 jockey, just dodging in and out of traffic here, and he puts this big white face of Noble Steed right on the line, barely touching him with the whip, super confident ride, and he didn't really shine in 2 runs after that, one on the all-weather, but when a horse does what he did on that day, I think he has to have a bright future, and he's high on my shortlist this weekend. Keith Young takes the ride at a low weight.
All right, and Keith, interestingly as well, is just 1 win away from his 250th winner here in Hong Kong. As far as the stats are concerned heading into this, well, one trainer who's absolute flying start to the season is Francis Lloyd.
And that's another reason why I like the look of Noble Steed. I think he'll be a fair price. Francis has come out swinging this season, 5 winners from just 20 runners, and I think Noble Steed has some upside. He's drawn towards the outside. He's a turn-of-foot horse. I think he's going to win a decent race this season, and I hope, for Keith's sake and for mine, it might be this weekend.
I've been encouraged by my success last week with Solomon's Bay to go wide. Fenrir had 1 start last season, finished behind Charizard, who reopposes. His track work and his trial coming, it was quite good. Voyager Blue was his name, Graham. Jamie Osborne used to train him in the UK.
Yeah, Solomon's Bay was an ex-British horse. So's this one. Solomon's Bay took a while. You're hoping that this horse will click a bit more quickly.
Yeah, I might have been seduced somewhat by his the way he looks. He's very flashy, and say the track work recently has looked very strong indeed. Looking forward, the Pokoi Centenary Cup is our feature race coming up on Saturday this week, and then next Wednesday, first race is at 6:45 because we've got 9 races on the programme.
Yeah, some catching up to do. Let's hope everything goes well between now and then. I was in Happy Valley last night. It was dark. It was forlorn. It's just not Happy Valley on a Wednesday night without some racing. All
right, we'll be back there on Wednesday and Sha Tin this Saturday as well. We're going to leave you this week, though, with memories of Jeff Lane, who sadly died this week. But Jeff was a very popular member of the Hong Kong Jockey Club team, being a jockey, a trainer, a starter and a steward. Much loved and sorely missed, Jeff Lane.
Super Fit setting sail after him right down the outside, and Chagall bursting through. Chagall racing after Quick Action at the 100. Quick Action by a length to Chagall, and finishing fast is Heavily Armed. Heavily Armed swamping Chagall and Quick Action, and Heavily Armed from last to first wins the Hermes Watch Cup from Quick Action and Chagall. Dashing Dragon moves up to all winners at the 200 metres. Here's Endeavour right down the outside from Jacko Keon. All winners and Dashing Dragon tackled by Endeavour, running off, and Alico storming home. Out wide Endeavour, the centre Alico. Alico Endeavour. Endeavour from Alico.